Hey, hi folks, how you doing? Welcome to business paper review with me, Kalu Aja. Right, so every morning we try to just review our papers, see what's going on, give you guys the information to set you up for your morning. Right, so today we have about three stories that I consider very, very important. Tell us about the economy and how the policy makers in Nigeria are looking at the economy. So we have this one from The Cable, and it's a nice title. It feels like a good news story. It says the federal government has suspended the 5% excise duty on telecom service. This is from the Minister of Communication, Pantami, Mr. Issa Pantami. So he's essentially saying that the federal government had taxed or put a 5% excise duty on telecom services in Nigeria, right? But he's saying the federal government has taken it off. His reason is that the telecom sector is overburdened by excessive and multiple implementation of taxes. So, I mean, this is a great story, simple, feel good story. The government wants to tax the business. The minister has come out in support of the business to say, hey, we're overtaxing you guys, so we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to reduce your taxes, or no, we're not going to impose that tax on you, so you guys it can make your life easier in Nigeria. But guys, this is Nigeria. It has to get complicated. Even this simple story has got to get complicated. So the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, has now replied to the Minister of Communication, saying that in actual fact, the federal government has not cancelled this 5% tax on telecom. She's essentially saying that it's an approval by the president, Muhammadu Buhari, to tax this, right? She's saying, and I'm quoting her here, against the comments by Issa Ali Pantami, the Honorable Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, concerning the 5% tax on telecom. It is worth noting that there's a circular state plan hike, which was addressed to the Communication Minister. Yeah, there was a circular addressed to the commission minister, and she actually quotes the circular March 1st, 2022, approval for implementation of the 2022 fiscal policy measures, all that stuff. So she's saying that the minister was told way back in March that they were going to tax telecoms, and that the president has actually approved this tax, and that the Minister of Communications cannot speak on the fiscal matter. So this is Nigeria, where the Minister of Finance is saying we're going to tax you. The Minister of Communication is saying that the government he serves under has suspended the tax. Both of them are saying the president is aware. We don't know what's going on. So imagine if you were at MTN, or if you were Econet, or whatever it is. How do you plan in this environment where you've been told you're going to pay a tax? The minister says you're not going to pay tax. Both ministers serve in the same government. It's not the opposition. These are the same ministers in the same government. Minister of Finance, Minister of Communication, arguing over a 5% tax. And it's material, right? If you make a billion, right, 5% tax on a billion is material. So I mean, come on, Nigeria. I mean, this is simple. This is so it just cannot happen. This goes back to the point I made when we're talking about the CEPLAT, the president canceling the CEPLAT contract after it had been issued. It speaks to what goes on in the decision making of the government. If you can have such an important, should we say, provision, this 5% provision is in the budget. It's going to fund the Nigerian government. It's been taken as a target to fund the budget, even with that deficit budget. Now you have the minister whose job it is to enforce that tax, right? Saying it's been cancelled. So what do they actually talk about at the Federal Executive Committee? Do they actually meet? Do they exchange notes? Is there a person driving the same narrative across board? We used to have the coordinating minister of the economy in the past. Now we don't. And you can see the reason why you want to have a coordinator of economic issues. So someone doesn't think this is telecom, it's my space, and the other person thinks this is finance, it's my space. Both of them not working across purposes. And the president, of course, not really saying anything. So it speaks more to how decisions are taking place in that cabinet and really we should get our act together. Does not speak well of us at all, right? So guys, let's move on to the next topic. I have it here from The Guardian. Nigeria earns 1.19 trillion from VAT in 6 months. So again, good news, guys. Nigeria on VAT has earned about 1.19 trillion, right? This is up year on year, 19% increase. So we end about a trillion last time. If you compare this to the last quarter, now we're up at 1.19 trillion. And VAT payments last year were below a trillion. Now it's going up. Let's see. There's a nice comment here. The foreign VAT, the foreign VAT contributed about 39.6%. Or no, it contributed about 229 billion. So it's 39% short of what was recorded in the same period in half year 2021. So again, I hate to do this to you guys all the time, but I always give you guys the headline, then I come out to give you the breakdown, and the analysis always makes it look bad. But that's just showing you the weakness really in the economy. So if you compare to 2021, right, the VAT in naira terms is up, right, 1.9 trillion. But that contribution in VAT, right, if you take the foreign component, is down 39%, So you don't have to be a genius to figure out what's going on here. That there's less foreign trade happening, and you can tie that back into the dollar. This difficulty in getting dollars to trade, we see it showing up now in the revenues of the government, right? Let's see. The highest contribute to VAT was surprisingly in the electricity, gas, steam, and air conditioning supply. That's where we had the highest contribution, right? They grew by about 116%, followed by food and accommodation, 42% growth. So interesting to see where that is coming from, i.e., what is growing the VAT in Nigeria, the contribution. In terms of now the sector contribution, what were the three largest sectors in Q2 2022 for VAT? Manufacturing, 33.08%, very, very good. ICT, 18%, very, very good. Then surprisingly, guys, mining and quarrying at 10%. So I would say overall, this is good. I mean, we're seeing the VAT come from the sectors we want to see it from. Manufacturing, 33%, very, very good. Information and communications, 18%, very, very good. Mining, which is surprising, right? Because we don't hear anything about mining in terms of revenues to the government, doing about 10%, very, very good. Where is trade? That's the question I want to ask. Where is trade? I mean, if trade isn't contributing to VAT, that's a big, big mix. You want to find out where the trade go to. No one is. I mean, trade is a large contributor to our GDP, but the VAT on trade is usually really low, or it's not even here. It's not among the top three. So that's a red flag for me that when trade is really that low, what's going on? If you dig into these numbers for manufacturing, you might find out it's Dangote cement or something like that, and I'm not sure, but I'm just saying trade is a bit more wide. You have trade across the board, so it shows that the whole economy is humming and not just maybe one sector or two. So overall, I would say, yeah, positive story overall that VAT is going up, even though the foreign component is down, but I think it's showing that it's going up. So I would take that, and I can live with that, right? Um, Again, there's a story here again about Seplat. The government, the rating agencies, Fitch Ratings. I don't know if you guys have found this story about Seplat. Seplat is a Nigerian oil company. Right, it trades in the US, sorry, it trades in the UK and Nigeria. They bought out ExxonMobil's assets when ExxonMobil was leaving Nigeria, and the federal government approved that, right? And the next day, the federal government disapproved that, said, okay, we're changing our mind, we're not going to allow you guys to buy Exxon's assets. So Fitch, which is the rating agency that rates companies and rates their debt, is essentially saying we don't think the decision by the Nigerian government to withhold assent to the sale of these assets to Seplat would affect Seplat in any material way. So they are retaining their ratings on Seplat, which is good for them, right? At a B stable. So I mean, they can wait till this is sorted out, but I don't think you should punish Seplat. I don't think it was their fault that the government can't make up their mind on a very, very strategic asset. So good for them, right, that this is happening. Great. So, guys, my last story has to do with one I want to spend some time on, right? So, we see here that the headline is simple. It's about Ajao Kuta. And we see that the Ajao Kuta and the federal government have reached an agreement. So, if you know the background to this, I'll try to give you just a bit background. So, Nigeria and Ajao Kuta, Nigeria basically owns Ajao Kuta Steel Complex. It was sold or was a concession to a company called Global Energy or Global whatever, right? And these guys, Indians, they came in and the allegation back then, not my words, allegation was that they were involved in asset stripping, which means they went into Ajaokuta and that they were selling the assets that were there, even though they had bought it, which means they owned it. And that based on that allegation, the government cancelled the agreement that was signed between Nigeria and Global Steel. Global Steel is a subsidiary of Mittal. Mittal is a big oil steel guy, right? So Mittal then takes Nigeria to court and he locks up everything, right? Which means Nigeria really can't do much on Ajaokuta because no one's going to buy Ajaokuta if there's this big contingent liability, essentially just sitting on Ajaokuta's head to say that the government is saying if we can't sell, we can't trade, we can't do anything with you until we sort out this lawsuit. So the government was able to go to arbitration with Global Steel and was able to reduce or to settle that claim. The claim was for 5.25 billion. They've settled with a claim to pay them, give or take, about 496. Again, guys, you've got to dig behind the headlines to know what's going on here. So, understand Nigeria's steel sector. Ajaokuta is what we call an integrated steel complex, which means when it was built, Nigeria wants to make steel from Nigerian iron ore. So, Ajaokuta's job was to take Nigerian iron ore and produce steel from that. But the iron ore in Nigeria is low quality, which meant that you need a company called the Nigerian Iron Ore Mining Company. That's one in Atakwe. Atakwe's job is to take the low quality iron ore and do what's called beatification. That makes it higher quality to be used for steel. So essentially, you cannot have Ajaokuta working unless you have the NIOMCOD, Nigerian Iron Ore Mining Company in Atakwe working. So Ajaokuta cannot work unless Itakpe works. That's so when you say people saying you Ajaokuta is 99% ready, they don't know what they're talking about. Itakpe has to work because you need the iron ore to make steel, and the iron ore cannot work unless it is beatified. This agreement that Nigeria has signed with Global Steel is going to hand over the Itakpe Nigerian Iron Ore Mining Company to them. So they would basically take over Itakpe, which means that whatever Nigeria does, right, they would have a controlling say. If Nigeria should ever sell Ajaokuta or whoever buys Ajaokuta has got to negotiate with them because you need iron ore. Unless you're going to import your own ore, they have now taken over that iron ore complex. It gets even better. Nigeria has also said we're going to give them access to the railways. Let me look at the exact language here that they've used to describe that. So they get Itakbe, right? And then they also get access to, if you know, that railroad Nigeria is building from Warri all the way to, in the middle of nowhere, that goes from Warri to, is it Kogi or whatever, that middle railway. That railway was built way back in the 1990s. Way back in the 1990s. That's not a new railway. It's been there since the 1990s. It was built by Julius Berger. And the idea of that railway was to take the iron ore from Itakpe to Ajaokuta and also connect Warri so you can get the limestone and the coal when you import it to Ajaokuta as well. So they also get access to that central railway, right? That is the Global Steel. So they've gotten, let's say now they've gotten Itakbe, the iron ore company. They've also gotten the rights to acquire other Nigerian iron ore mines and also the railway. So great deal for them. I'm not sure why they are calling this deal a 496 million deal. Have they counted in the railway? I'm not saying that they are going to take over the railway, but they will maybe probably have the right to maybe run their rails on that railway because that's what it was built for. It wasn't built as a retail that we're using it now. It was built for them to run iron ore from Itakpe to Ajaokuta and also linking it to Warri. So they get that. They also get Nyamako, which I say is a it's like saying we'll give you the car company, but we sell the petrol. Without the petrol, you can't run the car company. Which is why this deal, if you look at it critically, 5 billion compared to what they're getting now is not a 91% discount as the Minister of Justice is saying. This was a big win, big win for Mittal. Very, very big win for Mittal. I mean, should it be a big win for them? I mean, I like the investment. If they're going to come and start to produce steel or to invest in Nigeria, fantastic, right? But let's be real on what we agreed here and not be so cockish. I mean, on my own personal view, Ajaokuta project is dead. Ajaokuta was designed in the 1970s to be built in 1980s. So whatever we have in Ajaokuta was what was in use in the 1960s and 1970s. That's why it was designed. It's like saying you have a Peugeot 404 and today you want to install Bluetooth and AI that make the Peugeot 404 drive with a robot. It's cheaper to just buy a brand new Tesla. It's the same with Ajaokuta. Ajaokuta is never going to make commercially viable steel because it's just going to be too expensive. The mistake in Ajaokuta was trying to not import anything. We want to use a Nigerian iron ore, Nigerian coke, Nigerian limestone, everything. So we make everything there. We double the capacity at a whim. So always 99% complete. It's always 98% complete, but it's never completed because of all these little issues. The furnace hasn't worked. We don't have 5 years supply of raw materials sitting there in Ajaokuta. So you can't start anything unless you have those 5 years supply of the raw sand, raw limestone. Even the coal in Nigeria can't also do steel. The coal we have is non-coking. We need coking steel, coal. So it's a lot of issues, right? We can build a brand new steel plant today at half the price or quarter of the price of Ajaokuta. It will be smaller, but it will do the job. But we are fixated on this Ajaokuta because we have what is called, in economics, it's called sunk cost bias. Because we have spent so much, we don't want to let it go. We've spent 10 billion. That's dollars. 10 billion. As at this year, we're spending about 4 billion alone in Naira to pay salaries and maintain that facility. So it has eaten a lot of the money of Nigeria, but it's gone. It's better to turn that to university, tech, mechanical engineering university, and move on. To fix Ajaokuta will take a lot of money. The same funds you can use to build 5 new smaller steel plants with latest technology and start to make steel in no time. This has too many moving parts for it to work. Niamako has got to work, the railways have got to work, the ports in Warri have got to work. You have to secure the raw materials, then you have to start the blast furnace. It's a lot. It's a lot of money. I wouldn't, if I was the government, I'll let the private sector do it. So that's just my take on Ajaokuta. I think we've missed that train, we've missed that opportunity, and we should maybe reduce our expectations and then do something else. Get the private. There's a steel plant in Kwara, cold steel. Get that guy, expand him, give him loans, expand the guy. Go and allow all the private sector guys do steel and just support them. But this Ajaokuta, I think it's gone. The time has gone. I mean, it's sad to say, but we have got to be realistic. We can't do economics and national pride. All right, guys, that's my 3 big stories for today. 3 of them. I spent time on the Jakarta because I want to also understand what's really happening with it. It's difficult to say it should walk away from 10 billion, but it is what it is. All right, folks. I hope you guys have a great day. I know if anyone has any questions, let me take a quick look. No request. All right, guys. Super. See you guys tomorrow then. You guys take care. My name is Kaluaja again. See you guys tomorrow for Business Paper Reviews. Have a good day and bye.